When we respect individual differences, we see the value in truly investing in the adults who work with children and their families. I've said it many times before. We have to meet people where they are and assist them in developing plans that take them to the next level.
I'd like to thank the Peoria Civic Center Authority and the Civic Center staff for their help with our event as well. As you know, the home of Moses and Lucy Pettengill stood at the corner of Liberty and Jefferson. The Pettengills tapped into remarkable on this hallowed ground many years ago, transforming their home into a stop on the Underground Railroad. Lastly, I wish to acknowledge you. Whether you drive children to school or receive and welcome families to school, all while answering phones and managing the main office, whether you repair and maintain our facilities or teach and lead at our schools, we thank you. I thank you for making Peoria District 150 what it is today and what it will become tomorrow. Tapping into remarkable begins and ends with you. Simon Sinek, in his book, Start With Why, reasons that any organization can state what it does. Some can state how they do it, but precious few can articulate why they do what they do. He writes, and I quote, "Why does your organization exist? Why does it do the things it does?" Unquote. Sinek says that we should start with why as a way to inspire sustainable action. It is not about charting a course of action. It's about articulating a cause of action. And talk about a cause of action. Let me pause to thank Sophia Jefferson for her rendition of What About the Children. Please join me again in giving her a hand. The lyrics of What About the Children suggest an answer to the question, why? And gives us a strong cause of action. What about the children? To ignore is so easy. So what about the children? Remember when we were children, and if not for those who loved us and who cared enough to show us, where would we be today? Since joining this team, I've articulated my response to the question, why? From my perspective as a working parent, as an experienced teacher, and as the superintendent of Peoria Public Schools, our response to provocative questions, why do we exist as a school district, and why do we do what we do, must be the children. Some people hold on to the belief that academic excellence is an option for some children. When we start with children at the center of our efforts as educators, their needs take priority. When we have the central structures in place, all children can be successful. If we are to be a school district where the remarkable happens each day, we must expect that each student who arrives will be successful. We must invest in our children until they get it, even if it means reteaching and reassessing. When children are at the center of our efforts, we as adults must change to best meet the needs of children. As a team, we must do what's best for children. We can surely tap into remarkable when we have our children at the center of our efforts. Not long ago, I shared with you, many of you, my remarkable rules. Respect the customer, respect learning, respect our finances, respect individual differences. I'd like to spend the next few moments discussing them further. Respecting the customer. Respecting the customer means we acknowledge that parents have entrusted us with the awesome responsibility of educating their children. It's important for parents to know that we're here to serve and partner with them to make a meaningful difference in the lives of children. Respecting the customer means we acknowledge that children are counting on us to ensure that they have a great teacher with them every day of every year. A A great teacher is someone who has high expectations for students. Great teachers are in constant contact with parents and have a clear set of objectives in their lessons. They keep students engaged. They are the masters of the art and craft of teaching, and they constantly seek ways to meet the individual needs of students. Respecting the customer means we provide outstanding customer service to children and their families, seeking ways to remove barriers and foster connections with schools. We must ensure that our schools are equipped to receive children and their parents. We must ensure that our schools are ready to open for children. They deserve the best rides on our school buses. They deserve the best meals in our cafeterias. They deserve the best school buildings. They deserve the best playgrounds. They deserve the best curriculum. Our children have one time in school, and we have a responsibility to give them the very best. Respect learning. Margaret Collins, founder of the Westside Prep School in Chicago, is one of my heroes. She once said, "Don't try to fix the students, fix ourselves first. The good teacher makes the poor student good and the good student superior. When our students fail, we as teachers too have failed." We have to move beyond pointing fingers at students and parents and communities. We as educators, board members, mayors, and superintendents must come together as a united team to ensure that we respect learning. When we respect learning, we know that improving teacher quality is paramount. Teachers must receive ongoing, quality, customized professional development. When we respect learning, we know that improving the capacity of each principal and central office staff member is essential. Principals and central office staff members must play key roles in providing professional development so that we can ensure all students are learning each day and in every way. When we respect learning, we advocate for essential resources to support our efforts as District 150. In the end, it all goes back to this. As a team of educators, from the classroom and the lunchroom to the break room and the boardroom, we must nurture a school environment wherein we meet children where they are and take them one child at a time to the next level. Let me stop for a moment to acknowledge a few schools that made notable improvements during the 2009 school year. Primary schools.
Garfield Elementary increased by 5 points in mathematics. Glen Oak School increased by 10.8 points in reading. Irving School, 5.9 points in reading. Middle schools, Mark Bills, 5.8 points in mathematics. Calvin Coolidge, 6.5 points in reading. Sterling Middle School, 12.4 points in reading. And 5.3 points in mathematics. Would like to recognize two high schools. The two principals for these two high schools, I am their best friend. They don't want to admit it, they don't want to acknowledge it, but I am their best friend. I'm proud of what they do, but part of my job as your coach is to continue to push you and push you and push you. With that being said, I'd like to recognize Manual High School, 17.1 points in reading. $23.1 points in mathematics. Also, Manual is the recipient of the 1003G School Improvement Grant for a total of $6 million that they'll receive over the course of the next 3 years. Peoria or Central High School, 10 points in reading. 11.2 points in mathematics. These results represent a team effort. I thank each of you for the role you played in these gains. You know our students are counting on you to do it again this year. I know you will tap into remarkable. Respecting our finances. We must respect our finances. As educators, we are accountable to our district and to our broader community on 3 fronts. First, we must ask, are our students getting a good education? Specifically, are we providing meaningful learning experiences with high standards? And are we meeting the unique needs of each student? Second, we must ask, are we providing our students with safe and secure learning environments? Specifically, are we providing safe classrooms and healthy physical environments? And are we supporting an overall school culture free of bullying, intolerance, isolation, indifference, racism, and harassment? And third, we must ask, are we spending limited resources and tax dollars wisely? Specifically, are we exercising our financial responsibility and are putting our financial, human, and technological resources toward results? If we do not respect our finances and our current budget reality, we will minimize our ability to provide a good education in a safe and secure environment. A former colleague of mine asserts, we serve as stewards of public resources. We are entrusted to make sound decisions to support and sustain the successful operation of schools. As such, we must exercise creativity and responsibilities with financial resources. I couldn't agree with Dr. Burks more. We must align and realign ourselves and our practices to effectively and efficiently provide the resources essential for educating our 13,000 students. It will take all of us working together as a team to ensure that we let go of ineffective and inefficient practices. There are many good things that will remain the same. However, there are some things we need to change. There are some habits, practices, and expectations that must change if we are to be the place where remarkable happens every day for every student. Respect individual differences. Years ago, Nicholas Egponte asked the rhetorical question, where did new ideas come from? That's simple, he noted, from differences. Creativity comes from unlikely juxtapositions. The best way to maximize differences is to mix ages, cultures, and disciplines. In order to move from good to great, it's important that our team includes a good mixture of people from many perspectives, backgrounds, and experiences. Our team includes a few people from other parts of the country, some people from other parts of Illinois, and many Peorians. And though we come to Peoria Public Schools from many pathways, we are united under a common response to the question, why? We are here for the children. When we respect individual differences, highlighted by unlikely juxtapositions, we realize that customized learning isn't reserved for our students. We understand that we as adult leaders and learners must hold ourselves accountable, setting individual goals, both personal and professional, to make a difference in our lives and in those of our students. We understand that we have an obligation to raise questions that improve the quality of our work. Custodians may ask, how might I enhance the appearance of our school's entrance? Teachers may ask, how might I use what I learned last year to help a colleague reach my former students this year? I may ask, how might I partner with business and organizations in ways that are different and that promote widespread commitment to the children of Peoria Public Schools? When we respect individual differences, we see the value in truly investing in the adults who work with children and their families.